guys, welcome back and Happy New Year to everybody. The VGA tour worked great last night. We were able to play an 18-hole course, 2 players, and it didn't screw up or anything. So those capacitors were definitely the problem. I'll show them to you. I'll grab them if I didn't throw them away already. Couldn't really see it last night in the dark, but I'm almost wondering if that's what's wrong with Need for Speed Underground. So I think I'm going to pull that computer apart, get the motherboard out of there, and look at it. And if that happens to be the problem, I'll show it to you. I'll make a real little video on it. But anyways, I turned all these on just now. Just was curious to see, you know, early 2000s technology, 2022 technology. I wanted to see which booted up quicker. And to be honest with you, they're about identical. They took about the same amount of time for them both to boot up, so it's pretty cool. So what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna get the bags game over here on the floor, or the, Jesus, I keep calling it the bowling game over here so we can put the bags into it. I gotta fix the trackball. The trackball's broken. I don't remember if that mount, the way that those plates mount in the wood, there's 4 spots that have welded on like tubes with threads in them for the bolts to go into, and I don't remember if one broke or something like that, because I used a metal strap to hold it in there, and I don't remember what the reasoning was. So I need to fix that, and then need to go ahead and get this computer installed. I'm probably going to open up the back of the Golden Tee, because it's going to be quicker for me to just look at that and see how I did that one to get that one done, because if not, I got to do a bunch of reading, and because I don't remember how I did this one over a year ago now, and I just don't remember. So I'm going to go ahead and get that slid over here, spin the Golden Tee around so I can open the back of that, and then we'll get started on getting that modified to run both games. We're going to have to drill a couple holes, which I'm going to have to get my drill bit, 1 1/8 hole saw bit, so that we can put those buttons in down there. I'm going to show you the whole kit. It's brand new in a box. I honestly have never even opened it up. Let me go grab it real quick. So here are the capacitors that came out of that game, that computer. See if it'll focus here. Let's go over to the stool right here. Don't know that it's going to focus. This one doesn't look horrible. I mean, it's definitely bad. It's bulged out pretty good, and the top was starting to pop out. This one was the worst of the 3 right here. And you can see how far that bottom popped out. So I'm honestly hoping this is what's wrong with that Need for Speed game, because if it is, I could fix it. I ordered 20 of these on Amazon. They'll be here Saturday, I think, for $6 plus shipping. It was like tax. It was like $6 and some change for 20 of these capacitors. So I will have them if I have an issue, because I have 3 of these computers, and if I'm going to have a problem, or you know, if these are the problem, because obviously I didn't replace them all, plus the ones I replaced these with were used. So let's open this up. Like I said, I've never opened it up. It's from, I ordered it February 9th of last year, so almost a year ago. Okay, so now this is, I ordered this for a JAMMA set, because that game, both games in that cabinet are JAMMA, okay? On the Golden Tee is gonna be a little bit different, because one is HDMI and the other one is JAMMA. So that one, I remember, was a little bit different of a setup. Okay, so here's my, this is a controller board. So we're gonna have to, yeah, I'm gonna have to go through this and figure this out, because I don't remember. Here are the 2 buttons, and it usually come with labels to tell you which game is what. I forget what this is for. Trackball. Then we have a JAMMA connector here, another JAMMA connector here, And then here are the labels that it comes with. So they give you target toss, a couple target toss, they give you the power putt, they give you the Silver Strike bowling, and then there should be, he might not have put the golf one in there because I told him it was for Silver Strike and bags, so he probably just didn't put that in there. So, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the game out, and we're gonna start figuring out how to do this. Because to be honest with you, this looks a little different than the other one, but I can't imagine it being too messed up or too, I don't know. We're gonna find out though. All right, let me get this stuff out. Okay, I have this out. I'm actually a little confused on this one, on how it works, because with the VGA cable, but I'm looking at this one harness, and I'm wondering if that's why this connector's in here, so that you would unconnect it. I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss here. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Take this connector apart. Well, obviously one side's male and one side's female. I guess it's a VGA cable. I don't have a flathead screwdriver with me. Let me open this up. So one side is a male, like I said, and the other one's a female. And I don't know. What does this say? I can't read it. Can't read the ink on here. Just trying to like imagine in my head, because both computers have a VGA cable coming out of them. Okay, when I did the bowling one or the golf one, those cables I believe went into the circuit board, and this one doesn't have a VGA connector on the circuit board. So clearly we have to have both VGAs go into one. Does that mean I need to buy a splitter or something? I'm not sure yet. Because basically I think how it's working is, I don't know if these boards if video can come out of that JAMMA connector to go into like a CRT style monitor. That I'm not positive about. Apparently I got to do some research now, because I thought this was going to go pretty quick to be able to look off of the other one, but I don't think that's what's going to happen now. I think it's going to take me a little bit longer to figure this out, and I wonder if I have to possibly go JAMMA harness, and then JAMMA harness. How would that even work? I am really confused. This might not even be the right kit, so give me a minute here. Okay, so after looking at it, what I need to do is run a VGA cable that goes from here to the VGA connector on the JAMMA board on both units. So this is the bowling one, so got to go from here to that board, and then I got to put my other computer down here and go from there to the other board, and then it switches it to this right here, switches it to VGA to CGA, which the problem lies is actually, hopefully, I got to figure this out still. I'm getting there. I'm starting to figure it out and making sense. Hopefully I'm going to be able to go from here right into the monitor itself, but I don't know that this computer monitor is going to be able to pick up this signal, because I'm not sure. We're going to have to try it and see what happens. If not, I'm going to have to figure out some sort of a converter board, because this is basically just, you know, this wire right here, this goes to where? Okay, I think that's going to have to stay connected. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure this out. We can start putting it in, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it all. Before I even start with that, I'm gonna get this trackball out of here because we want to oil it up, and I need to fix the mount. So let's do that. And then I'm gonna get the computer mounted in here, get the other boards mounted in here, get the other cabinet identification board mounted in here, kind of get everything going, and then we just need to figure out what I'm gonna do with the wiring for the monitor. Like I said, I might have to order some sort of a converter that goes from VGA or goes from CGA to VGA, but I haven't quite figured that out yet. I haven't made it that far, and kind of figure that out as I go, I guess. I mean, there's a way to do it. Apparently that thing is on there. If we were using an old CRT monitor, it'd be easy, but we're not, so. The heck did that go? There we go. Really? Thing landed right inside of the port where you would hook up your telephone line or your internet line or Ethernet cable, whatever the hell you want to call it. So let's pull this forward and see how I kind of rigged this thing up. And I don't remember why I did it. See, I put that metal strap in there. Oh, I know why. I didn't have the mounting hardware, or one of it's broken. Either way, we're going to fix it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this ball taken out of here, and then I'm going to look at it and see what it looks like. The nubs on the metal plate are broken off. I remember now. I think I just didn't want to order one at the time, so I made just this hillbilly bracket. So now what I'm going to have to do is make a nice bracket out of thick metal that goes like this, down and over, just like this, but out of some thick metal, because what happened was it bent over time and it fell down. So I'm just going to make a bracket like that on my bender out of probably 16 gauge, and that won't be a problem at that point. That'll be nice and secure in there. Get this out of the way, and we're going to take this apart, and you can hear it doesn't sound real good. We're going to get the bearings all cleaned up and everything. So let me get this off, and then I'm going to work on starting to mount the computer and stuff and see how far we get until I figure out what's going on with that VGA. Okay, I'm going to start getting the computer and stuff mounted on here. So I'm just going to kind of fast forward through this boring part of just getting everything mounted and stuff. And at that point, I wonder if that's strong enough for light. Oh yeah. At that point, we can start figuring out the wiring. I'm starting to figure it out in my head a little bit here and there, so hopefully I'll get it all thought out in my head. Pretty positive. Yeah, still don't know yet. Worst case scenario, I mean, to save myself money and time, I could use a converter board, CGA to VGA. I do have tons of those. I don't know how it'll look on a computer monitor, but these two games are lower resolution than like the Golden Tee and stuff like that. So we could try it. It's worth a shot. You never know. But I'll keep looking and figure out what I have. All right, let me explain this. And I'm missing a, possibly missing. Maybe not. Maybe I'm not. Ooh, I think I'm all right. Okay. Thought I was missing a cord for the trackball, but I do have one right here. So basically, I'm going to explain all this, how it goes. And these two trackballs might be in the wrong order. I didn't look and see. But this one's got to come over to here, and I'm going to explain this really carefully for you. So hopefully you guys will understand what's going on here. Okay, I still got to run power to that from, let me try to see here. Okay, this is in the wrong spot. That's not correct. It goes back here. Okay, so here's what we have so far. So we have the switcher board here, okay? Now, on these kits, the JAMMA harnesses do not carry power, okay? So this side of the JAMMA harness is dead. There's no power. If you look up here, you'll see there's not even any copper up there to make traces on the board, so that's extinct. So that being said, this plug down here, okay, these two braided wires, this is giving that switcher board 5 volts and ground from the computer itself. So the computer's coming out of the computer, the 5 volts and ground going into the switching power supply. Then we have the JAMMA harness here, or the not the JAMMA harness, trackball. This wire right here goes to the trackball that's installed in the game. This wire right here goes to the trackball for bags. This other wire right here is the trackball that goes to the bowling. And then we have a VGA cable, which I still need to connect. This VGA cable is going to stay in this computer. I'm going to unplug it from up here. I'm going to run it over to this board here. And then I'm going to take another VGA cable from this board and run it down to this computer, okay? And then at that point, if my calculations are correct, these wires that I cut off a long time ago, which I probably shouldn't have, but I did just to clean it up, we're going to have to get back into those wires there. And we're going to have to get our red, green, blue, ground, and sync wires out of here. And those we're going to have to convert into VGA to go into the monitor itself. So if that, oh, and these wires right here, these 6 wires right here are your wires that go to your switches, and I put them right here on this cabinet to switch between the bags and the bowling. So this 6 wire setup here is, I'll show you what it is. I have to look up the wire colors because I'm not sure what's what. But on here, you have 2 whites, a black, and 2 reds, and a blue and brown. So my guess is blue and brown are probably ones for one game and ones for the other. I think. I got to look it up. But anyways, what it's going to do is the buttons light up. So we have a ground and a power. So I'm wondering if the whites are ground. I'm going to say whites are ground. Wait, why is this brown doubled? Okay, brown is ground. So this is our ground. The 2 reds are our power for the switches, and that leaves us with a red, a blue. I'm sorry, Jesus. Or a blue and a white and another white. So that's what it leaves us with, which doesn't really make sense. But what do I know? Figure it out. Oh, wait. No, it leaves me with the black. Okay, so it leaves me with these 4. So then that means I'm guessing white is probably our common. Black is the switch from one computer. Blue is the switch from the other computer. So hopefully I haven't confused you guys too much. And then also we have audio. So we have RCAs that come out of this board, which this is the board for the bags, goes down into the bags computer and plugs into the bags. Okay, and then we have 2 USB ports. These 2 USB cables, one of them goes and powers this board, because once again, this board does not provide power through the JAMMA harness. So the computer powers it through here, and the other one goes up to the CID card, which is the cabinet identification card. And this has like a printer cable on this end, and then it is a regular USB on that end. And then we duplicate that again. We have our RCAs, we have our 2 USBs, one that powers the board and one that controls the other cabinet identification board. So you got to have both cabinet identification boards in here, because bowling is going to use one, which is this one, which is number 19, and bags is using number 20. So that's pretty much it as far as that goes. Now we just need to figure out the video cable, and I got to drill holes for the buttons, and I think that's about it that I can think of. So it might not be too bad. So I'm getting a grasp of what I got to do. Just got to figure out the video signal. I really don't want to use a converter board if I don't have to, but if we have to, we have to. It just sucks because this is a 32-inch computer monitor, and it's going to probably be a higher resolution than the converter board. I don't have any of those converter boards that switch to HDMI, because those work really well. I had one, but I gave it to my buddy. He needed it. So if we were able to switch from CGA to HDMI, it would look even better. But I currently don't have that. But I don't really know that that's going to make much difference. Out of the 3 games, the bags and the bowling were had the least amount of resolution, because they were older. These are from, mid 2000s versus 2022 and stuff like that. These have older graphics cards in them, so the signal's only going to be so good. You know what I mean? Yes, you probably could upgrade your graphics card and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it's just like taking a game from the 80s or 90s, running a converter board to a flat screen. How good are you really going to get the picture? It's only going to be so good, because it's just how the game was made, and that's why 80s games, to me, running on a CRT monitor will always look better than a LCD, because they were designed to run at that resolution on that type of a monitor. So, and in theory, these games ran on a CRT 25 or 27-inch monitor, because a lot of these games, they came in those big cabinets with either the 25 or the 27-inch. So that's what they were meant to run on anyway. So if we have to use a converter board, I don't think it's going to be that big a deal, but we'll see. We'll see what I can come up with. I don't know what I have in the back, but I am going to look. I'm going to go grab another VGA cable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug it here, and I'm going to plug it into this board. Okay. Then I'm just going to take my other VGA cable from there, and I'm going to plug it into the computer. Yes, this is a rat's nest of wires, and guess what? I am not going to start zip tying all this shit together, because if I got to get back into these computers, then I'm just going to have to cut all the zip ties up. So I'm just going to kind of drape them nicely, neatly, and just leave them like that. I know it looks kind of shitty, and I don't really like doing that, but like I said, if I got to get back into this wiring, I'm going to have to cut a bunch of zip ties and start all over. So, all right, I'm going to go get an VGA cable so I can run that other one over, and then see what I can do about converting the signal. Okay, so now I'm letting my solder gun warm up, because on this JAMMA harness that was in the cabinet, this JAMMA harness had come with the all the game parts that I bought a long time ago. So what we're going to do is go on here. I don't need this one. And we are going to solder on the wires that I need for my signal for my monitor. Now, I have this right here. I don't think this is going to work, but we're going to give it a shot anyways. I highly doubt this will work, but this will take my CGA and convert it to VGA. I'm pretty much going to probably bet, trying to think. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. I think we're going to have to use the other converter board. So I think I'm just going to do that. I'm not even going to mess with this, because I'm trying to think. I'm pretty confident that this is not going to work. I think it would work if it was going from VGA to CGA. So yeah, we're not going to use this. We're going to have to use the old-fashioned board, mount it in there, run 5 volts to it, which isn't a big deal because I have some extra 5-volt wires over there. And I have another plug that we can use that should plug right into that board, that converter board. So let me go get one of those and a plug. And we're just going to do it that way, and we'll solder them right to that JAMMA harness. Okay. I put my little legs on the board. This is the wiring harness I'm going to solder right to the JAMMA harness. And then these are my 2 power wires that will power this board up. And we'll just crimp connect these together. All right, so I'm gonna take that off for now. So we just gotta read here what the harness says. Video. Okay, the video wires are here. Wait, is this the right harness? This is not the right harness. It's in the cabinet. Duh. But we can use this one to tell us what positions they go. So we'll just count pins. So video green. Speaker, I believe, is 10, 11, so 12 should be video green, but let's double count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, speaker's 10. So we got green is 11, sync is 12. So green is 11. Did I splice these, or I didn't strip these yet? So we're going to need green and white first. So green is 11, white is 12. So speakers are always on 10. On a jamma harness, not on every harness. I did say 12, didn't I? Yes. Okay, and we need to be on, we gotta make sure we're on the right side. I almost just put it on the wrong side, because the opposite side is probably my green and blue. So 10, so 12. 12 is green. Should probably get some shrink tube. I'm gonna go get some shrink tube, and then I'll just kind of fast forward through this and I'll show it to you when I'm done. Yeah. I'll probably have to clean up these wires a little bit. That's going to drive me nuts if I don't. But let's plug it in. I don't have the switching wires hooked up, so that might be a problem actually. And let me look up those colors and see what does what. Okay, I have it plugged in. I haven't pulled the switch, turned the switch on yet, so let's turn it on and see what it does. That one lit up for a second. That one lit up. Okay. I believe they're both running. I'm sure there's probably nothing on the screen. Oh, maybe there is. We got garbage on the screen right now. And that's more than likely due to the converter board. Putting everything to default for now. See if anything happens here. Static. We got a locked screen there. I might need to switch where I have it plugged in at. I'm not sure yet. I don't even know if anything's even working.
Welcome to Silver Strike Bowling. I'm Matt Kern,
Okay.
and announcing today's game is Randy Peterson, holder of 13 career titles. Thanks, Matt.
All right, let me mess with this for a couple minutes. All right, guys, I haven't gotten anywhere in several hours now. I plugged bags directly in from the, you know what, let me think here. Directly in from the computer to the monitor, and it's missing red, okay? But I have all these JAMMA wires going across. Now, when I put the bags on, or the bowling, that is also missing red. So something in that harness is screwed up, or on the Perfect Solution switcher board. Now I remember I actually bought this used, now that I think about it, or I don't know what the deal was with it, but red is not working. Don't know why yet. And also, when it is on, when I have it hooked up differently, when it is on either or and you go to switch to the other one, the screen doesn't work. It does not switch the screen. So I am not sure what is wrong with this. I literally have a disaster going on here. Look at this mess. There's wires and crap everywhere. So if you guys ever run into this type of situation, you got to just kind of laugh it off and figure it out. And I don't know if the switcher board is bad, if the wiring harness, which that doesn't make any sense because, well, yeah, it does make sense. You know what, let me try something real quick and I'll come back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the VGA cable from bowling right up to the monitor, but I'm going to disconnect the JAMMA harness and put it back into the original one and see what happens. Okay, so in all the years I've been working with this kind of stuff, I have never to this day had a bad VGA cable. That VGA cable, red doesn't work. So now it's hooked back up the way I had it before. The reds and stuff are off. I'm using this converter board right now just to try it, and it does in fact work rather than using this one. But the problem is the monitor is not picking it up, so the monitor shuts down, as far as I could tell. Now if I take this button and I switch to bags, I get nothing, but I might not let me go make sure that's plugged back in. But let me switch back to bowling real quick here. Okay, so let me make sure that that other stuff's plugged in. So I went and grabbed another VGA cable. See, I bought literally like 50 of these a long time ago for like $2 a piece, and it was all wrapped up in brand new packaging right there, and the damn thing's bad. So let me run this one from the bags to there and see what happens. All right, I have that, but I highly doubt it's going to switch over. I'll tell you what, the picture's not bad. Picture doesn't look bad at all. But I highly doubt it's going to switch over. Yeah, see, oh, it did. Sweet. So basically, that VGA cable literally screwed me up forever. So now I could switch between the two. So that's working. And it's not too bad. There needs to be adjustments. Now I'm going to turn it back off, power it back on, and see if by chance the monitor picks it up. I'd love to use this converter board rather than this because I was having a sync issue with that. But I have read places that you put a resistor in line of the sync wire. I'd have to look it up again to see what resistance I would need, but that could be the problem. But I have the computer torn apart. I'm thinking like something shorted out because I didn't know, you know what I mean? You put this new system in here and all of a sudden you lose red, and the last thing I ever would have thought of was the VGA cable. So I'm like tearing into shit, taking the graphics card out. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And let me turn it off. I've got a disaster of a mess now. I'm waiting about 30 seconds or so, and I make sure the computer are completely drained down, and we'll turn it back on. So if I get this to work tonight like this, I'm gonna leave it at that, and we'll do one more video because I need to make a bracket for the control, or for the trackball, and need to mount the buttons and stuff. And I got to clean this mess up now. I've literally been cutting wires, splicing wires, cutting wires, so now I need to kind of just go back, start from the beginning, and clean it all up. So let's power it back on and see if this monitor is going to want to pick this up or not. See, it comes on right now, but I think it goes to sleep because it's not showing the stats. It wasn't, at least. It might now, but it wasn't showing the stats coming down the screen like it's supposed to, and it looks like it's not going to do that. So if that's the case and it doesn't show them, chances are the monitor is going to sleep because it doesn't recognize, you know, it just thinks nothing's going on. Because this takes about a good minute or so to, I got to really clean that screen. I need to buff them out. All of them are like that. Need to take some of that compound that they use for pinball machines. What the hell is it called? I don't know. I can't think of it. My brain is literally fried between fighting with PGA Tour yesterday and now this. I hate computers. Have I ever said that before? Maybe 1,000 times. I just don't know enough about them to You know what I mean? I get stuck easily. If it's an 80s arcade game, different story. I just hope this thing monitor picks it up and I can use this converter board. So much easier than dealing with that other one. I just don't know. Don't know if it's gone to sleep or not yet. No, it's still flashed. It's like wanting to go to sleep, but then it's getting a signal and flashing, which is good. I don't care if it shows the computer's booting up on the screen, all the writing and shit from the computer. I can care less about that, as long as it just turns on. If not, I'm gonna have to use that other converter board and figure out the sync wire and everything. Then I gotta adjust all the settings to try to get it to line up straight. This one right here just gets you perfectly where you need to be. Other than I gotta adjust the colors on it, but that's not a big deal. I think now it went to sleep. I don't know. Like every time I say that, it flashes. Still flashing. God, that glare from that light right above it. Kind of wasting time on the camera here, but I really want to see if it turns on. Ooh, might have it. Oh yes, got it. That is awesome. It booted to Silver Strike Bowling. All right, so it did work. Let's try switching it over to Bags. Bags is up. Whew. Got it, guys. Now I just gotta clean this mess up. It is a disaster, and I'm not doing it tonight because it's 11:30 at night, and I quit. But I do wanna see. Look at this. I got wires just like barely touching on the pins and shit. I want to see if I can try to adjust this without knocking the blue off. Red's up too high, I think. Yeah, red's too high. Okay. Green. So basically a VGA cable was screwing the whole entire thing up. Green might be too high. I think here. You know what I need to do? Let me turn the overhead light off over here. Where's that remote at? Because that light's kind of drowning me out. Turn off a couple of these here. That's a little bit better now. Still got one behind me that's kind of glaring. Okay, now I can see it a little bit better. I wonder if I can make the monitor a little bit brighter too on the monitor adjustments themselves. I'm going to go back to red here on this red pot, and I'm going to go ahead and taking it down just to see what happens. I took it down almost all the way off, or not off, but all the way to the lowest setting. Let me go on I'm gonna mess with the monitor settings for a minute and I'll be back. Okay, I've adjusted the color pots and the monitor as much as possible, and it's not bad. You know, it's a little pixelated. I mean, what else can I do? It works, it's switching. Switch it over to Bags. So everything's working now. So, all right, that's gonna end this video. I'll do one more video on wrapping this thing up, cleaning up the wiring mess. I'm so glad I did not zip tie stuff and tie stuff up while I was putting it together. I just had a feeling that something was gonna go wrong if I did that. I think the green's too high. Let me lower this green a little bit. Problem is when you lower, I kind of cranked all the pots up to get the brightness up on the screen. So I got to be careful how much I turn the green down, because then see how it starts to turn, the white starts turning pink. So if I turn the green down here, turn the blue down a little bit. Help if I put the screwdriver into the pot. That's pretty good there. That's good. It's hard, you know, obviously looks different in person than it does on the camera. It's a little bit more blurry on the camera than it is in person. Actually, that actually doesn't look too bad right there. So, all right, yep, I'll be back tomorrow. We'll drill these holes. We'll go out in the shop, make a mount for this trackball, and I'll get all this cleaned up. Maybe I'll video some of it. I'll just kind of go through it quickly. But I think we're gonna be good to go. I'm gonna power this off and on one more time. I want to make sure, I want to see if it turns back onto bags. I'm just gonna do this off camera and I'll tell you guys tomorrow. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys tomorrow.